Hi there, if you're watching this video, then you are making that step up into the leadership role as the new manager on the block. You're falling into the trap of micromanaging your team because you are scared you might miss something. Your work ethic is paid off, and you are on your way to a successful leadership career. You hit your targets, you mastered your tasks, and you were reliable. Now your job has changed fundamentally. You are no longer paid to do the work. You are paid to ensure the work gets done by others. The biggest mistake a new manager can make is believing that ensuring the work gets done means watching every keystroke. Many of us has been in the same situation until we learn to let go of micromanaging our employees. If you don't learn to let go of the how, you will become the bottleneck of your own department. You won't be leading a team. You'll be managing a group of people who have stopped thinking for themselves because they're waiting for you to tell them what to do. Now, let's first look at the positives and negatives of micromanagement. To move away from micromanagement, we must understand that it can be useful to a very limited extent. Most of the time, the benefits that micromanagement brings to the table are short-term gains. It provides an instant sense of security and is only used in certain circumstances. Micromanagement can be used in situations where the outcome must comply with a specific standard or quality agreement. This can be applied in situations where you, as the manager, are responsible for submitting important reports or legal documents that meet specific compliance standards. In this instance, it's more of a quality control function than micromanagement, depending on how you deal with it. Micromanagement is also used for risk mitigation to prevent errors in high-stake and time-sensitive projects. Once again, depending on how you apply it, micromanagement can simply be called effective project management. And then finally, when a team member joins your team, the first week is crucial to ensure long-term engagement. Until you establish the new employee's capabilities and competency levels, it is crucial to micromanage. If done right, this is called coaching and is a necessary step of new employee induction. Now that you have an idea that micromanagement is not always a bad idea, let's have a look at how it can quickly turn into a problem if you do not self-manage your behavior. The costs of staying in this mode are catastrophic to corporate culture. It is guaranteed to cause employee disengagement. People do not perform better because you have the ability to scrutinize every move they make. When autonomy is removed, motivation follows. High performers will leave for roles where they are trusted. In the end, you will burn yourself out. You cannot do your job of creating strategies or coaching your employees if you are too busy doing your team's job of executing every single task they do throughout the day. Worst of all, if you dictate every step, the team will never find a more efficient way to solve a problem than the one you already know. They will always wait for you to resolve their problems. And when you start complaining that you must think and do everything else for everybody, then you are 100% correct. Well done. You earned that feeling. Now you are already thinking, if I don't tell them, how are they going to do it right? Remember, they are there because of their experience and skills. They do not need your constant input. And if they do, your coaching is failing or your recruitment strategies need a serious revamp. To lead without hovering, you must shift your focus from the process to the outcome. Borrowed from military strategy, this means clearly defining what success looks like and why it matters. If the team knows the destination, they can navigate the obstacles themselves. This will give you time to focus on your failed recruitment and coaching strategies. Instead of telling someone exactly which path to take, tell them the boundaries they cannot cross, such as budget, legal requirements, and deadlines. Everything within those boundaries is their territory to explore. You'll be surprised at how your work environment will change for the better. Free up your time instead of spending it on micromanaging others. If an employee can do a task at least 70% as well as you can, you must delegate it. The remaining 30% is the growth gap that they will close through experience and coaching, not through doing it for them. Okay, so let's see how you can implement some strategies from tomorrow to overcome your micromanagement syndrome. It will be tough, but wait until you start experiencing the benefits of doing what you need to do. Use these 3 tactical shifts. Don't ask, is it done yet? Or why did you use that font? Instead ask, what are the current blockers stopping you from finishing this? And how can I remove them for you? This positions you as a resource, not a monitor. This is the time when you can coach instead of control. Set specific intervals for updates at the start of a project. If you know you're getting a report every Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you won't feel the urge to ask for status updates on Monday and Tuesday. Your employee will worry more about the updates than the final result. You are just wasting their valuable productive time. If all else fails, create a shared document that outlines the negotiables for your department. Once the standards are written down, you don't need to nag. The document serves as an objective judge of the work. People work better and productivity increases when your team is aware of the framework they operate in. Let's recap. Leadership is the art of making yourself redundant in the daily tasks so you can be indispensable in the big picture strategy. Trust is not a reward given after years of service. It is a functional tool you must deploy to allow your team to grow. Give them the why, set the boundaries, and then get out of their way. If you don't know how to do something yourself, or if you are not capable of doing it, then don't tell someone else how to do it. It is their function to perform their duties and yours to establish and monitor outcomes. If you enjoyed this video and would like to receive more skills development content like this from the Leadership Shortcut, then please subscribe and hit that like button.